Another super common polygon modeling technique or command that you'll need to use many times is extrude. And it's not the same as the extrude we already saw. There's an extrude for splines in which you can take a flat 2D spline and make it into a 3D surface. But there's also an extrude command for polygons. And its purpose is to take a polygon and create a branching structure out from that polygon surface. And we'll use that here to create some simple table legs for this modern table I've got. The tabletop is already here present in the scene. That's just kind of a reference for me to know where the table legs need to be. Here in the top view, I want to have a table leg that's centered right around here. Cool, so let's make a box. Go ahead and click on the box creation mode, and I want to snap in 3D. Go over here and make sure I'm snapping in 3 dimensions. And in the top view, drag out the footprint of the box. And it's going to be, looks like 2 feet by 1 foot. And then drag upward just a little bit to set the height of the box. And then right-click to complete that box. And right-click again to exit box creation. Let's look at this in perspective. Alt-W. What I want is 2 legs that come up from either side here. I can turn off snapping now. I don't need that. Let's go and play around with the box parameters. Go to the Modify panel. And we've got length, width, and height. I'll give it a height here of 9 inches. Let's make it less. Let's make it 6 inches. And then we've got the width here. We want to make that a bit less as well. So actually it's the length in this case. We'll make that 6 inches too. And now I've got a nice little box there. In order to extrude the sides up here, I want to kind of create a U shape. To do that, I need to have some polygons in order to extrude. I can't just arbitrarily grab some location and then stretch it upward. There needs to be a series of edges there for that to work. Cool. So in our box parameters, we can increase the number of segments here. Looks like it's the width segments I want. So I'll just increase that. Give that a value of 3. Cool. We got the detail we need in order to extrude this up. But I do want to shift these edges outward here so that we have a roughly square extrusion. And to do that, I'll want to convert to editable poly. Right-click, convert to editable poly. And we've got our ribbon visible. Let's go into Edge subobject mode. And there's a really convenient feature that allows us to select all of these edges that go around in a loop. Just select an edge, double-click, and you'll get an edge loop. You want to select the other edge loop here, hold down the Control key, and double-click once again. And now both of those edge loops are selected. You can verify that, go into Wireframe with F3, go back out to Shaded Mode with F3 once again. And then we want to scale these outward just to shift them left and right. Grab the Scale tool. And we want to make sure that our transform center is appropriate. Remember this, we got our transform centers. Let's choose Selection Center, which is the second or middle button there. And then we want to scale just in X. And we can check that in the top view. What I want is a roughly square polygon there on either side. Cool, so now we're set up to do our extrusion. We can go back to the Select tool and then go into Polygon Selection mode. Select one of these polygons over here. And if you want to display these as shaded, you can. Press the F2 key on your keyboard. That makes it a little bit easier to see what's selected. F2 is called Shade Selected Faces. Control, select this other face over here. And now we're ready to do our extrusion. Extrude is a pretty simple command. If we don't need to numerically determine the precise height of the extrusion, then we may be able to just simply click on the extrude button without accessing the caddy. So I can just click on extrude and then drag upward. And it doesn't really matter exactly how high it is because I can move them manually afterwards. Release the mouse and now that extrusion's been created. Go over to an ortho view. Let's go to the front view or the left view, either one. And then with those polygons still selected, grab the Move tool and just pull them upward. I'm not extruding because extrude would create new polygons. I'm just moving the ones I have. And push those up until they are penetrating inside the top of the table. We don't want there to be a gap. So just push them up a little bit beyond that point. Cool. So that was a very simple example of an extrude. If we want, we make a duplicate of this. Just shift and move to create a clone. We can make it an instance. And of course, we can rename these objects and group the model into a functional unit if we want, but that's the basics of how to use the extrude tool. If you needed more control, of course, once again, you could use the caddy, and you access that by using the Shift keyboard shortcut. So just Shift-click on the tool to access the caddy.